Hi guys, and welcome to another Adventures with Ellie yoga class. I hope you are ready to get moving today. I have something a little bit different planned, I guess. Not super different, but definitely pretty strong on the cardio for this class. So yeah, I hope you're ready to work pretty hard in this one. That being said, the benefit of watching this in the comfort of your own home is that if you feel like not doing something and just taking a child's pose instead, nobody knows. So if you feel like you are just working a little too hard, you have more than you want, you can always take a break in down dog or child's pose at any time. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, let's get started. For today's class, we're going to start in a child's pose. So come to your mat, down to your knees, bring the forehead to the mat. The arms can be out in front and a little bit active, stretching through the shoulders, or you can have them, your hands down by your feet, and sink the hips down to the heels. And just take a minute to come into your breath here. Nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Take a couple rounds of breath. And on your next inhale, wherever your arms are at, have them extended out in front of you. See if you can stretch through the shoulders a little bit more. And exhale, walk your hands over to your right side. Pushing into the left arm, so you get a really good stretch right behind the left shoulder blade. Your left hip should be reaching to the left heel. Make sure your hips stay down and just stretch here. Next inhale, come back to center, and exhale, walk the hands over to the left. Push the right hip down to the floor, reaching with the right arm, pull with that right arm so you really feel that stretch kind of on the outside of the ribs. And inhale, come back to center. And come up to tabletop position. We'll just take a couple of cat-cows here, and just, you don't have to go with me, but take them organically. We inhale, push the chest forward, arch the back, and exhale, tuck the tailbone under. Going at your own pace with your own breath, and you can add a little bit of movement, anything that feels good. You can go from side to side. Just stretch whatever you need right here. Next inhale, come forward a little bit, stretching the wrists out, and exhale, come back, sitting on the heels. Inhale, come forward, and exhale, sit back. And coming back into neutral, we're gonna just come up to stand to a wide leg stance, and we're gonna start this practice off by really getting into some movement. So we're gonna get really warm really fast. We're gonna move through these next couple steps quickly. So this first time I'll go slowly and explain everything to you, but then we're gonna just kind of move. So it's It's gonna look like this. Starting in Skandasana, come down to the right leg. So we're kind of squatting on the right leg, and then we're gonna turn towards the right and come into a low lunge. From here, lift up into standing splits, and nice and controlled, lower back down, coming up to high lunge, little arch in the back, and come back down, back into Skandasana. Now keep it nice and low, moving over to the left side. Skandasana on the left side, and then we're gonna turn low lunge on the left, and up into standing splits. Bring it back down, high lunge, and then turn it back into Skandasana on the left, and then coming back into the right. So that'll be one. We're gonna do that, let's do that 6 more times, or 6 times total, and we're gonna move really, really quickly. So like even a little bit faster than your breath. So just follow along and let's get started. So turning to the right, low lunge, lift up, standing splits, lower down and up for high lunge, back to Skandasana, keeping it low to the left side, low lunge, standing splits to high lunge, coming back to center, over to the right, low lunge, standing splits, high lunge, turning to center, over to the left, low lunge, standing splits, high lunge, back to center, over to left. Stay low right there, keep it moving. Same thing. Hopefully you're starting to build a little bit of fire here, especially in the legs. Over to the left, low lunge, standing splits. Come back to center, over to the right, low lunge, and down, and up. Turning back to center, over to the left, standing splits. Come back down, high lunge, and Skandasana. Keep it moving. Let's do, I think we have 3 more. Probably not, but we're gonna do 3 more anyway. And to the left, splits, lunge, and back, right, 2 more, splits, high lunge, and coming back. Keep it going, you got it. And 1 more full round. Make sure you're breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. And back to the right. And come up into a wide leg forward fold. Take a breath here. Very nice job. Getting warm really fast. Whew. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold a little deeper. And walk your hands to the front of your mat. Step the right foot back for downward dog. And find some movement here. Need to stretch anything. Take a couple breaths in down dog. Now remember, this pose can be active. Doesn't always have to be super restful. So if you really want to keep your heart rate up here, make sure it's active. Squeeze through the back of the legs. Tuck the tailbone. Cinch the ribs in. Keep the abs engaged. Push through the fingertips to keep some of the weight off of your wrists. And push the shoulder blades. Like push with your arms. So you're sending your hips up and back. On the next inhale, look between the hands, come to the toes, bend the knees, And you can walk or float to the top of your mat. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. Arms all the way to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now walk the big toes into touch. Your next inhale, sit back into chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, you can step or hop to chaturanga. This first one, come all the way down to the ground. And walk your hands out in front of you for Sphinx pose. So the elbows should be at about 90 degrees. And you want to think about actively pulling the shoulder blades, like pretend there's a pencil in the middle of your back and you gotta hold that pencil there. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades together. You're pulling through the forearms and the fingertips. Lengthening through the spine. Squeeze a little bit tighter and release. Hands come by the ribs underneath the shoulders, and you can push through the knees or all the way up to plank and back to down dog. Inhale, the right leg comes high. Exhale, step it between your hands. Back knee comes to the ground. Inhale, low lunge. Take a breath here. A nice stretch in the hips. And exhale, hands back, down. Step the right foot back and lower into chaturanga. You can come all the way down or just halfway, elbows at 90 degrees. Inhale to up dog or baby cobra, keeping the legs on the ground. And exhale, push back to down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Step it between the palms, back knee lowers. Come up to low lunge. Take a breath to stretch out those hips. And exhale, hands come to the mat, step back. Take the chaturanga or vinyasa of your choice, coming all the way down or halfway. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra, and exhale, squeeze it back to down dog. Take 2 breaths here. And on your next inhale, come to your toes, bend the knees, look between the hands, walk or float to the front of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walk the big toes to touch and sit back to chair. Exhale, come up, hands to heart center. Inhale, windmill the arms, sit back to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk or hop to chaturanga. Lower down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg comes forward. Step it between legs. Back knee lowers, low lunge. Exhale, take the vinyasa of your choice, coming all the way down or halfway, up dog, and push to down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts and steps between the hands, back knee lowers, come up to low lunge. Exhale, chaturanga, up dog, and down dog. 2 breaths here. You can always kind of move in this position and stretch out anything if it's tight. Next inhale, come to the toes, bend the knees, look between the hands, and walk or float to the top of your mat, forward fold, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the big toes to touch and inhale, sit back to chair. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Stand all the way up. And one more round. Inhale, sit back to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, vinyasa of your choice. Make sure you're going with your own breath here. If you don't totally match my cues, that's okay. Nice. Inhale, right leg forward, back knee down, low lunge. Exhale, chaturanga. Up dog. And flip it to down dog. Right away, inhale the left foot forward, back knee down, low lunge. Exhale, chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. And down dog. Breathe here. We're about to move into another high energy movement, so take a second to catch your breath. And remember, you can always come into child's pose. If you don't feel like it, no one will ever know but you. All right, next inhale. Come to the toes, bend the knees, look forward, walk or hop to the front of your mat and walk the feet out wide. We're gonna come into a Moasana squat here. So the feet should be just about at the edge of the mat. And it's okay if your heels don't touch here. That's more of a mobility thing. It'll come with practice. So not a big deal if they don't touch. You can bring your hands to prayer. And push your elbows against your knees to give you a little more space. Let's just make sure you're not like rounding through the back. You want to keep the back straight and the spine elongated here. And we are going to do 10 jump tucks from Moasana. So these are really hard. If you don't get all 10, that's perfectly fine. If you need to quit early, but definitely give it a try. So just for an example, we're going to come all the way back to Moasana for each jump. You're going to start here, jump all the way up and tuck, and land back in Moasana. If that's a lot, you can work on just doing a really deep squat as well. But definitely just try to stay moving for this one. So, starting in Moasana, 10 tuck jumps. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. Those are good ones. Take a second, catch your breath. Let's come into a forward fold here. Straighten out the legs. You can turn the hands upside down and walk the palms underneath the feet. Bend the knees as much as you like here. And if you wiggle your toes, give the palms a nice little massage. I love this one. Release the neck. Shake the head yes. Shake the head no. And just catch your breath. All right, when you're ready, step it back and we'll meet in down dog. And I don't know if you've been following along with me on Instagram, but this week we are doing an arm balance challenge with a couple of other amazing yogis. And today, our arm balance is a wild thing. So I thought it would be perfect to add into the practice today. So on the next exhale, we'll lift the right leg to the sky, stack the hips on top of each other and bend the right knee. And first we can give the hip a little massage. Just circle it out here. And the other direction. And then you can stay here, opening up the hip. If you want to flip your dog into Wild Thing, reach that right foot back behind you, put all your weight in the left side, and flip your dog. Pushing through the hips. Just take a breath here. And slow and controlled, roll it back over to three-legged dog. Square the hips to the ground, send the right leg high, and then squeeze it in, knee to nose, all the way to plank, and step it between your hands for a low lunge. And walk the right foot out to the outside of the mat, lower the left knee down, and come into lizard. So if this is good enough for you right here, you can stay here. If you want a little bit deeper stretch, you can walk your arms down to the elbows. And just enjoy the nice deep stretch here. And take a couple breaths. Next, inhale, come up, walk the foot back to the middle and between your hands. Tuck the back toes and inhale, come all the way up. Warrior one. Exhale, open to warrior two. Adjust your feet if you need. The heel of the front foot should be in line with the arch of the back foot. The back foot can be at about a 90-degree angle. A little bit less if that's what feels good, but right about there. Gaze goes over the front fingertips. Sink the front knee a little bit deeper. And breathe into this posture. Next, inhale, reverse your warrior. Leaning back, lifting up through the right ribs. And exhale, back to warrior two. Straighten the front legs. Maybe walk the back foot in just a little bit. Just make your stance a little bit narrower. We're gonna tip the hips back to the back of the room. Lean forward as far as you can go. And then coming into triangle. And for this particular practice, I want to challenge you. See if you can lift the bottom arm up and out so it's facing the front of the room. And using your abs, particularly your obliques here, just holding yourself up. A few more breaths. Dig deep. And exhale, release, fold over that front foot. Back heel can swivel, so we're in like an extended front leg lunge. Fold over the front leg. And step the right foot back to a three-legged plank. Keep it lifted. Tuck the tailbone and see if you can push through the backs of the shoulder blades. So you're pronating the shoulders here. Squeeze through the fingertips. Make sure you're engaging the forearms. Hold it for another breath. And then take the vinyasa of your choice to up dog. And push it back to down dog. Take a breath here. And then inhale, lift the left leg to the sky. Stack the hips on top of each other, bend the left knee. Get a couple of hip circles in one way and then the other. Now staying here, or if you'd like to flip your dog, transfer the weight into your right hand and send that foot back to the back of the room. And wild thing. Push through those hips. Keep the glutes engaged. Reaching for the front of your mat. And nice and controlled. Flip it back over. Keep that left leg lifted. And squeezing it in, knee to nose, come into plank. And step it between your hands. Walk that left foot to the outside of your mat. Back knee comes down for lizard. So staying here if this is enough for you. If you want a bit deeper of a stretch, come all the way down to the elbows. And breathe in this pose. Next inhale, walk your hands back up, pull that left foot in between your hands so it's right underneath you, tuck the back toes, coming up for warrior one. And open up into warrior two, swiveling the back heel down, realign your feet if you need to, front foot in line with the back arch, the back foot, and bend a little bit deeper into that front leg. We definitely want to feel a little fire here in this pose. Hold it for a bit. Very legs focused today if you haven't noticed. I haven't really done a leg class yet, so thought I'd get those guys involved. Can't skip leg day. Next inhale, reverse your warrior. Stretching up through the left rib cage. And exhale, back to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Walk the stance in just a hair. I'm going to tip the hips back, keeping everything nice and straight. Lean all the way forward. And when you're as far as you can go, then you can windmill the arms into triangle. And again, I'm going to try to challenge you. Keep those arms lifted up all the way by your ears and reaching to the front of your room. So your abs are engaged, your obliques are lifting up your entire upper body here. And breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. 2 more breaths. And release. Fold over that front leg. Lift the back heel up. Come back to your breath. And step the left foot back, but keep it lifted for 3-legged plank. And tucking the tailbone, pushing through that right foot so that the shoulders are right over top of the wrists, engaging through the fingertips. See if you can lift that left leg a little bit higher. And take a few breaths, pushing through the backs of the shoulder blades. Everything should be tight. Everything should be engaged. And lower down to the vinyasa of your choice. Up dog. And back to down dog. Take a nice deep inhale here through the nose. And exhale, release through the mouth. do one more like that. Inhale through the nose and exhale. Stretch anything out that you need. The next inhale, right leg lifts to the sky. Squeeze it in, knee to nose, and step it between the hands. Now from here, if you do have a block, and you normally use a block for half moon, you can get that now. If you have anything at all that can help you reach the floor a little bit better, grab that now. I don't use a block for half moon, so you don't need one, but it can definitely help. And first, transfer all of your weight into your right leg and float the back leg up into warrior three. Hands can come to prayer here. Micro bend in the right leg. You don't want to lock it out. And think about pulling your left hip down so that it's square to the mat. And then next inhale, open up the body to the left side. Hand can come down in front of you to a block or to the floor. Squeezing the abdominals to keep your balance. Coming into half moon. And for the last few breaths, see if you can float up off of the ground or off of your block, even for a second. And coming down to a forward fold. Roll it all the way up on the next inhale. And we're going to come into dancer, so transferring your weight back to your right leg. Bend the left knee and reach for the inside of the left foot behind you. So in dancer, eventually we're going to tip forward, kind of like it's a warrior three pose, but I want this movement to start from engaging your left leg and pushing into the left arm. So first it's a push. Push as hard as you can. When you feel like you can't push any further, then you can start leaning forward, keeping the hips square to the floor. Find your drishti here. Find a focal point to help you balance. Push that leg into the hand. That leg is really active in this pose. And exhale. Release, forward fold. Take ragdoll here, grasping opposite elbows. The knees can be bent as much as you like. Just take a few breaths. And then on the next exhale, step or hop back to chaturanga, taking vinyasa of your choice or a child's pose, whatever you need. We'll meet in down dog. The next inhale, lift the left leg to the sky, squeeze it in, knee to nose, and step it between your hands for a low lunge. And transferring all of your weight into your left foot. Nice and light as a feather, lift off the ground. The right leg pulls back, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your hamstrings. That leg reaches for the back of the room, hands come to heart center. Warrior three. Hold it here. Micro bend in the left knee. Don't lock that leg out. Use your muscles. And on the next inhale, reach for the ground. Open it up to the right side for half moon. The hand can come to a block if you need, or a book, or your water bottle maybe, or all the way to the ground. These last 2 breaths, see if you can lift up off the block, off the ground, using your abs to balance. And exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, roll it up nice and easy, 1 vertebra at a time. Dancer on the other side. So all your weight in your left foot, lift, bend the right knee. Your arm is going to reach for the inside of the right foot. And same thing as the other side. This pose starts by kicking the leg into the hand. So when you're ready, kick, push as hard as you can, really engage those muscles in the right leg. And then when you're ready, tip forward, finding your drishti. Keep those abs engaged to keep your balance. Woo, not like me. You push a little bit harder into the back foot. And release, forward fold. This time interlace the fingers, and the pinky edge of your hand can come to the very base of the skull, behind your neck. And if it feels good to you, those elbows can kind of draw down towards the floor, tractioning out the back. And when you're ready, you can either take a quick child's pose, step right back to down dog, or let's do one last vinyasa of your choice. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. I know that we've already worked pretty hard in this particular practice, but it wouldn't be sequenced by me if there weren't some specific ab workouts involved. So we're gonna do that now. And this one's a really fun one, I promise. On the next inhale, come into a plank pose. And we're gonna just go through plank. Again, you're pushing forward through the heels. Shoulders are directly over the wrists, and you're pronating the shoulders. So you're pushing through like the middle of your back, tailbone tucked. And we're gonna do what I like to call 4 corners. So inhale the right leg up and back and squeeze it in. Bring it above your right elbow and down to your right wrist, over to the left wrist, up to the left elbow. And we're just gonna do a box just like that. And up, right side, down to the wrist, over to the left, and up. Let's do 3 more boxes on this side. And up, right, wrist, left, and up, right, wrist, left, and up. 1 more, right, down to the wrist, over to left, and up, and hold it, and step it back. Push back to down dog, take a breath. And really quickly, let's do the other side. Inhale, come to plank. Make sure you're engaged. Everything, fingertips, shoulders, tailbone tucked. And inhale, squeeze the left leg in and up to the elbow, down to the wrist, over to the right, and up to the elbow. Left, wrist, right, elbow, left, and down, right, and up, left, and down, right, and up. 2 more, left and down, right and up, left, down, right, up. Hold it here, squeeze it in. Can you get it higher? And step it back down, dog. Whew, I love those. All right, just take a breath here. And come down to the knees. Let's take a child's pose, stretching out the shoulders. So you can walk them really far forward to give them a good stretch. Or if you want a little bit more of a stretch through the center and back of the shoulders and your back, let the hands come back to the feet and just let those shoulders fall to the ground. Forehead on the mat. And take a few breaths. You earned this one. Okay. Let's roll over onto your back. I'll just take a couple of bridges here quickly as we wind down the practice. So lifting through the hips and walk the shoulders underneath your back, clasping the arms, and push, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the hamstrings. Push up as high as you can. And exhale, release the arms, roll back down, one vertebrae at a time. Walk the feet out to the edges of the mat and let your knees come in to touch. Bit of a recovery pose. And we're gonna take 2 more rounds of that. So you can do another bridge, you can do 2 more bridges, same exact thing. Or you can move to half wheel if that's within your practice. If you want to stay in bridge, I'll challenge you to lift one leg. So if you want to take 2 more half wheels, go ahead and do those now. If you're going to do bridge and you're going to lift the leg, walk the feet back in, fingertips can touch the back of the heels. And on your inhale, lift the hips to the sky, walking the shoulder blades underneath. And you're just going to transfer your weight into the left side. Pull the right knee in and stretch it up. Keep pushing through the hips, push them up to the sky. And you can release all the way back down if you like. And do the other side. Just make sure you give yourself a bit of a rest in between. You can windshield wiper the knees or walk the feet out to the sides, let the knees touch. And we'll go around 3, so either bridge, switching the leg lifted, or coming into half wheel, so hands go up by the ears, fingertips touching the shoulders, and on your inhale, lift through the hips, pushing up through the arms for half wheel. If you're in wheel, make sure your glutes and abs are engaged to help save your lower back. And when you're ready, slow and controlled, nice and easy, same way you came into it. Come back out, lower down, windshield wiper the legs. Take a few breaths. Bring the bottoms of the feet to touch and let the knees fall out for Supta Baddha Konasana. So your legs should, like, if you had a little drone flying over top of you, your legs would be in a diamond shape. And then bring the hands into the hip creases. So the thumb is coming into the front of the hip and the fingers Draw down around the back of the hip, and then see if you can straighten and lock out the elbows and give a little bit of length to your lower back. So pushing against your legs with your arms and lengthening the spine. You should feel a little bit of like separation in between your lower spine. And release. And let's take 3 rocks coming up to seated. 2. Just because they're fun. And extend the right leg out, left knee bent, and your foot can come to the inside of your right thigh. Inhale, sit up and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold over that right leg. And we're just going to take a few breaths here, so just try to remember an inhale will lengthen the spine long. And on your exhale, see if you can fold a little bit deeper. It's okay if you're just hanging onto your shin wherever you're at. Just make sure that you're not arching through the top of, or through the back of the spine, that you're keeping the spine long, and then fold. And nice and slowly come back up. I'm going to take the right foot, step it to the outside of the left knee, and your right arm comes behind you kind of as like a little post. The left elbow hooks around the left knee, or you can just give it a little hug and twist to your right. Make sure your back hand is either TP'd or flat on the ground. Don't come to your knuckles. This is not good for your knuckles. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. And release. Just really quick for a breath, see if you can turn the other way. And re-sweat out. Shake it out. And keep the left leg long and bend the right knee in. Bring it to the inside of the left thigh. And inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, fold over the left leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper. And inhale, come on up. Bring the left foot to the outside of the right knee. Just that foot on the ground. Inhale, right arm comes up. Hold on to the left knee or hook that elbow around the knee and twist to the left. Same thing, remember your hands can TP the fingers or it's flat on the ground. On your next exhale, twist a little bit deeper. And release. Just twist it over to the other side for a breath. Nice. And then come lie flat on your back. You can take any final preparatory poses as we come into Shavasana. So if you want to take Happy Baby, another Supta Baddha Konasana. Anything that's normally in your practice, now's the time. And then one option I really like for Shavasana, obviously you can come to lay down flat on your back, palms up, the legs, let the feet fall out, or you can always find a wall and wiggle your hips all the way up to the find a little, he's doing Shavasana, the dog just really flat and now he's doing Shavasana. We were so close, Diego. I had like 30 more seconds.
Oh my god.
Anyway, okay, so you can take a normal Shavasana, or you can find a wall and have your legs coming up the wall. It's a little bit more active, but it feels really nice. It'll help kind of the blood flow. We did a really leg heavy class. It feels really good on the lower back. So this is always an option as well. And just settle into your breath wherever you're at. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Take a scan of your body here. So starting with all the muscles in your face, see if you can scrunch them up, try to make every single muscle, and then release. And let the shoulders fall down into the mat. Shoulder blades run down your back. The thighs roll out and away. And the legs fall open, just melting into the floor. Give yourself a little thank you for coming to your mat today, for moving your body. Your body will appreciate you. So give yourself a thank you. And then stay here for as long or as short as you need today. Thanks for practicing with me. Namaste.